good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the boombar on your Boom Radio NG, reaching you from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Shola Rogers.
My name is Oladoluko. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're listening to us from. And like you said, it is the Boomba right here on your Boom Radio NG. And it's a brand new week, brand new month. Yeah, brand new week in a brand new month. And it's already very, very interesting right here at the bar. There are a whole bunch of things that are very interesting. You know, the weekend was pretty eventful in the political scene. When it comes to sports, even entertainment, very, very eventful. And those are part of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So, you know what? Get your drink, sit back, relax, and, let's just dive right into it. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, INEC is very much in the news. INEC, the way everybody's releasing sand list, yeah? INEC has decided to release their own. Like, okay, we also have, lawyers that are going to defend us as well. So, yes, they're definitely. One of the major things that we're going to be talking about, which is basically it is still trending up until now. I think the news broke I think Saturday evening. Yeah, I think it broke about Saturday evening online, and it is a recorded conversation that has to do with the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and the general overseer of the I think Winners Chapel Living Faith. That's Bishop Oyedepo. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have listened to that audio. There's no need to be going back to that. But, okay, before we even go in depth, when you listened to it, what was your first reaction?
Well, for me, this is the era of deepfakes.
Yeah.
This is the era of technology. And a lot of things have been done. There's a factory, or shall I say, there are factories that are actually created for, creating fake news and all sorts of things. The first thing that hit me when I heard that is like, it sounds so much like Peter Obi's voice. Sounds so much like Bishop Oyedepo's voice. But this definitely has to be fake. And the reason why I'm saying that is that we've had different people analyze this situation. Some journalists have even gone ahead to outright say that it was fake and all of that. But for me, that's what came to my mind at first. Like, this is definitely not real. And one of the reasons why it was unbelievable is not the fact that you hear a Nigerian talking to another Nigerian with a lot of respect, like, oh, yes, daddy, okay, daddy, thank you, daddy. That's not the thing that got me. What got me was the part where there was mention of a war, some kind of religious war and all of that. Then I start to be like, wait, definitely this can't be real, because this particular candidate, that's Peter Obi, has always said that, he didn't campaign throughout about religion or ethnicity. There was nothing ethnic about his campaign, that his campaign was owned by all Nigerians. So I'm like, this doesn't suit or fit that narrative. So to me, the first thing that came to my mind, I'm like, this thing is fake. So even when people were going on about it, even some of the people who were pushing it on Saturday, they were more or less like trying to get back at the Labour Party. Some of them were like, oh, if you could believe the story about the Chief Justice that was published by People's Gazette.
Yeah, Gazette.
You should also believe the story about this audio. Meaning that even they feel that, look, it's not real. A few hours after attempting to sleep, then waking up Sunday morning, first thing I see is a thread by a top Labour Party official and a top member of Peter Obi's inner caucus. A lawyer, trained lawyer, an actor, Kenneth Okonkwo, who has really been,
at the forefront
of
Peter
Obi's campaign, more or less confirming that yes, there was a conversation, but he also was trying to say that there was some kind of manipulation, which means that there was a conversation. And of course, nobody wants to hear the other part. A lot of people, as soon as they heard that, oh, there was a conversation, everybody has gone to town with this story. So for me, that's not all, but that's for me in a nutshell what I first thought, and then where the conversation has led to.
Okay, so like you said, I honestly also had that reaction as well. Like, it wasn't true. We've seen a lot of doctored things back and forth, and it was, I would kind of say it was shocking when Kenneth Okonkwo literally brought out a statement a few hours after to say that conversation was actually happened. I would why I said so was because he had said we've seen too many things. There's so many things that regardless of where it first came from, trust me, sometime, regardless, you think that okay, this person maybe is a reputable handle or is a reputable media company or something. We've heard and seen a lot of things that ended up not being true online. So it was a very difficult conversation to believe, especially when there's been a lot of allegations around Peter Obi with his there's a lot of the religious and the ethnic bigotry allegations around him and all that. One would not expect such a conversation, especially also with someone as respected as Bishop Oyedepo, yeah? But there are a few things I think that we need to break down from this thing. And number one, I think that what's the word now? Companies or would I say organizations, I think it's not something a lot of Nigerian organizations, or would I say political parties, have, and it's cohesion. Before Kenneth Okonkwo put out that statement, there was a lot of Labour Party people that were denying that statement.
Outright, yeah.
Outright. Whether it's true or not, the first thing as maybe a media arm of the party, they're supposed to go into major PR work and trying to,
damage control,
do a bit of damage control and all that, which it was beginning to work up until when Kenneth Okonkwo released that statement on Twitter. And what does that tell me? That tells me that is a system that do not have synergy. Yeah, that is one. And then you could see a few hours after where another Labour Party person tweeted that nobody should take anything that Kenneth Okonkwo says is not to the capacity of Labour Party or Peter Obi anymore, literally throwing him under the bus. That doesn't look well on the whole system to me.
Kenneth Okonkwo has received a lot of backlash. People came for him. Mm-hmm. One of the top campaigners for Peter Obi actually even said, like you said, that he was no longer a part of the campaign, that he had been sacked and all of that, and that they had sent the audio to a lab in Israel for forensic analysis. Kenneth Okonkwo actually responded to everybody by saying, and I'm going to paraphrase it, he said, honesty is the best policy. That he is saying that his angle to all of this is the truth. Okay. As against deny is a system that PR people use as a form of damage control. At times they use it to buy time and all of that. But he says, look, that honesty is the best policy. Now, everybody was waiting for some kind of outright denial from the Bishop of Living Faith Church, right?
Yeah.
Winners Chapel, Bishop Oyedepo. But the only snippet we've seen, and I'm not going to claim to have seen the entire video, is a part where, he was speaking to the congregation, and he said he has never supported any politician.
Any politician, yeah.
That people come to him for advice. Some of them take the advice that he gives, some of them don't, right? There was a part where he went towards one of the pastors in front and also maybe like pulled him up or thought it, like, you understand what I'm saying? Maybe the guy is one of his confidants or whatever. And that, for a lot of people was some kind of admittance that the tape was real, that the audio was real. Although there's still a lot of people who are saying that it might have been cut and pasted and different things. But of course, we've not done that forensic analysis ourselves.
Yeah,
there are several platforms
if it was not true, by now I would expect
that one of the things that
Peter
people were
Obi
saying,
or even Bishop Oyedepo, to come and outrightly say no, that was not how that conversation went. Yeah,
like one of the things that people are saying, and you're going to hear a lot of that. This line I'm about to drop now is that how come, the media platform, People's Gazette, and the reporter that wrote this story have not been, sued or threatened with a lawsuit or whatever. Because normally, to clear your name, people would usually do that like almost immediately. There is a gospel singer who is threatening to go to court.
Yeah.
Apparently,
her name was used for a song.
A derogatory song. I've seen people sing about Halle Berry in America. Halle Berry.
Funny thing, I've not even listened to this song.
And I don't plan to. I don't want to give that kind of person views or listens. Sure you get. But even before the song had dropped, the lady had complained about it and all of that. I would even use someone's entire name.
Like,
now, so she's going to sue the guy for billions and everything, right? So we've heard about people who have done that to protect their image and their name, and there are several cases like like that. By now, I don't think that the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and Bishop Oyedepo should be trying to say if it's real or not. By now, if I'm on that team, we would have immediately gone to court. Immediately gone to court to say this is a fake story. And we're not going to have none of it. And we're going to sue this company for everything they own, because the damage that this is doing or would have done is untold. The damage that it would have done would have led to God knows all sorts of things happening in and around the world. We're talking about a top politician who has massive support and followership and goodwill, and you would use some fake story or fake audio to tarnish his image, and by extension his political career.
I think and
but by now nobody's talking about suing People's Gazette. That's one red flag for me. Like, I'm thinking that why are we not suing them? You should be suing them, because a lot of people have said it's fake. People have said that they put it on different AIs and stuff. Now, a lot of people have also done some AI deep fake searches, and they're saying it is real, that the audio is real. The secretary of Labour Party was on Arise TV, a couple of hours ago, and he outright denied it. He said they listened to it and that it is not real, that it's a fake telephone conversation.
Isn't it time that maybe Peter Obi himself needs to say something about it?
He doesn't need to say it. If I am Peter Obi, I will sue People's Gazette, sue the owners, even the future owners of that thing, for every kobo they have.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
Okay, so
that's what I should do if I was him, and if I was also Bishop Oyedepo.
Because it's some form of admittance. If you do not do anything, I think I definitely guess what you're saying. Now, another angle to this whole story, which I don't see a lot of people talking about, is the fact that, let's even assume that this conversation was real. I'm guessing this conversation was probably not meant to be recorded, or even if it wasn't supposed to be a public of public knowledge, whether you like the conversation or not. Trust me, I don't say that. Of course, maybe to not to the extent of maybe religious bigotry or whatever it is, but I'm very sure that we've all had conversations we don't want in public.
Of course. Everybody has.
Do you understand? Most likely not recorded. My question is that how do we get... It's not the first time that we see government documents that are supposed to be confidential out in public. It's not the first time we hear conversations getting leaked and all that. And we realize that these things are actually not even lies. They're there. So my next issue with this whole conversation is that how did this thing get recorded?
Yeah, there are several takes on this. Some people have said that someone close to Peter Obi, was recording it off his own phone, based on the fact that they are assuming
that the phone is bugged.
No, that the phone was on speaker. That Peter Obi's phone.
Okay.
That's what I was reading. Some guy. It's just someone's opinion. I'm not even saying this person is an expert. But everybody's just trying to make sense of this whole
thing. Yeah.
That he must have initiated the call, and the person knew, and also started recording. Like if you're close to someone, and you have a good phone, or immediate, you would pick up even what is being said because it's on speaker.
Yeah.
You get these days we don't even hold our speaker close to us. You put it on the table and you're doing so many other things, and it comes out real good, right? So that's what one person said. The other thing that people have alleged and people are really playing up is the possibility of a bug. Some people are alleging that there must have been a bug, planted or put on his phone line.
Okay, so why is it not from
some people are
Oyedepo side? Okay, so maybe because of the ring at the beginning, yeah?
Yeah, that's why they talked about that one. So some people are saying that that at least one of them's phone was bugged. And with that bug, they were able to listen in on that conversation.
The conversation and record it. Okay, so if we agree that it was bugged, then there's admittance that that audio is real.
Yes, that's what it could be. Because again, even admitting that the audio recording is real also leads people to say things like, for instance, that the original audio was doctored, not necessarily distorted, but doctored in the way that maybe they cut out a part and pasted some parts together to make it sound a certain kind of way, like a certain kind of conversation.
Okay.
That's what some people have said. Somebody said there's a lady who is a massive Peter Obi supporter that I saw a tweet. She was talking about using Adobe Premiere, that she put it on Premiere, and there were different waves, like 4 different waves and impacts and everything, that for her that's how she knows and all of that. Now you cannot argue with something that you have not tried or you don't know about. Do you understand? Like, because if you use Adobe Audition now, all the waves come out same way. So you can't, but she's saying Premiere, Adobe Premiere. I'm like, okay, that might be a way to check. Now even one of the media houses in Nigeria has even written a list of how to check for deep fakes and AIs and stuff, to find out if what you're watching or listening to is real or not. But let's not lose sight of the fact that what is being said is heavy.
It's heavy,
regardless of how you look at it. It is. And let's hope that it is actually fake.
The conversation never happened.
That is fake. And on the other side, also remember that technology is a dangerous tool if you use it dangerously. If you intend to malign or castigate or put down someone, you will achieve it, because maybe the person might not be able to come back from that. But yeah, it's been that Peter Obi on his own part has been extremely quiet, more quiet than expected. That at a time like this is a crucial moment.
It's time that he needs to say
something. But people who work for him either as volunteers or even as staff or whatever, have been busy. They've been out there, fighting his cause on Twitter and everything. This video I dropped. I don't know if I'm allowed to go a little bit back to the Ibom Air plane incident.
Yeah. I was going to get to that.
Okay, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Ibom airplane incident where a passenger on Ibom Air was actually deboarded, and what they're saying about that is that he kind of like got on the plane and he was talking about the elections, the presidential elections, and how Bola Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate, should not be or would not be sworn in. Now, there are several videos that have emerged of this plane incident, and there's a part where even before boarding, there's a video that came out of the man actually being agitated and more or less in an argument with, I think, staff of the airline or something similar. Yeah, I think so. Or maybe staff of the airport. But regardless, it was actually like having an altercation, some verbal, arguments that they were back and forth about. Now, on the plane, of course, the videos that we've seen, there have been several. He was quoted, we quote him to have said, "Oh, Tinubu is this and that," and there was a woman that was shouting at the top of her voice, that you need to leave the plane, that you're a threat, you need to leave. Eventually, we saw how he was eventually bundled off the plane, and that video was the one that people were talking about. Then the video of him arguing with them before he even boarded. He was arguing with the airport staff or airline staff before he boarded. There's a video of that, and he stood his ground. Now, in all of this, the reason why this is being linked together is that he kept on shouting, "Obedience, you are here. Obedience, you are here." Like, so if people are alleging, that it was planned by Peter Obi supporters and everything, I don't think so. I think this man was acting on his own, and I also did watch the videos, freeze the frame, check, and I'm like, he looks like someone that's actually disturbed.
A little disturbed.
Someone who probably has a lot on his mind. Something must have just
triggered
him.
But funny enough, he could be. That's how he feels.
And in whatever it is that triggered him.
It doesn't look like something that it was planned. It looks like it was on his own accord. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about.
So the point I was trying to make about that is that now the arguments for and against. Mm-hmm. Virtually every Peter Obi supporter online is saying that it's the APC that is behind that action. There's a lady who is a journalist, and she's one of the top Peter Obi supporters online, Yaka Chan or something. I think in the Kato, in the Kato. I think that's was on Arise TV also, where she actually alleged that a TVC reporter, a lady who is always on their talk show, their women's talk show in the morning, is the wife of that man. So what she's insinuating, that they've even done the job for the police, that they've gotten the man's details and they're asking the police to step up their game. What she's insinuating in essence is that the TVC belongs to Bola Tinubu of the APC. That whatever happened on that plane, is orchestrated by the APC. That's what that lady is saying. Now, the lady that she has mentioned as the wife of the man who was deboarded on that plane, who was shouting, "Obedience, you are here," is now threatening to sue. That she's going to sue the people, especially that lady who has gone on air to talk about it.
Actually malign her.
Now the Peter Obi supporter lady in the Kato has now deleted a post about that.
Oh wow.
A few of them have deleted their post about that.
Now, this is the problem that I have with people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do your job. I am not saying that you should not stand for what you believe in. But I think that maligning people, especially when these things are not true, I think is very unfair on the person. I saw the video of the lady this morning where she was like that, I don't know this person. The people that have the same surnames, I can count off the cuff of my head. I have a surname that is very common. 5 people that I know personally that we bear the same surname, we're not even from the same state. So because one person's name is the same with this particular man, and then you go to town, literally anything could have happened to this lady. Somebody somewhere could have decided, oh, so that's Habi, and then decided to take laws into their hands. Anything could have happened to her just because we want to make a point. I'm not saying that this man, what this man did was right, or maybe he was doing it, maybe someone, another party paid him to do it, which is very possible. Those things are possible. But in doing your investigation, I think that we actually all need to be careful with the things that we put out. At times, yes, this lady is threatening to sue, that she actually wants to sue. To be honest with you, I think that maybe, just maybe at this point, maybe somebody needs to get sued. So maybe we'll be more what's the word now? We'll be more careful with the things we put out, with the way we throw out people's names, we put out people's we just say things with reckless abandon. I think that we should be a little bit more cautious. Talking about what the kind of things people put out. There was a video that was going around in the past few days about the Lagos Blue Line and a train being pushed and all that. And there are a lot of people, in fact, a lot of people that you would not expect that will go to town with that story actually went to town with this story. And I'm like, can we at least calm down? Yes, we feel passionate about some things, but let's at least the least we can do is be a little cautious. Don't let's put ourselves in trouble in trying to defend people, because at the end of the day, these politicians, God day.
Yeah, again, in playing the game though and supporting people, if only all of us will learn how to speak the truth, if only all of us will learn where to draw the line, and one of the things that we must do is to put country first. Like put country first. When you do that, when your own candidate steps out of line, you would put your country first, not your candidate or your own personal gains first. The polity has been heated up already. Before the presidential elections and the governorship elections, we all agreed, even on and off air, and a lot of people, this is the most toxic election that I have witnessed
very, very toxic.
As a Nigerian. Like, it was all about, ethnicity, religion, and all sorts of, everybody was just crazy. I mean, I say everybody, and I mean it. I'm not saying it was one part. Everybody, all the top players were just doing crazy stuff. But now that the elections are over, and we're in the season where we're supposed to go to courts to maybe go get, justice. Justice is important. Let's also be careful the way we go.
Because some of these things can actually also be used against people.
Yeah.
In court. So I think we really just need to pipe down a little bit.
So back to all of the major discussion we're having about the telephone conversations, and if it's real or not, and what you would have done or you didn't do or could have done or couldn't do. It is funny how virtually everything you see is not tailored around the truth. It is tailored around our truth, your truth. Like, if you're a PWP supporter, you are either complaining about how the thing got recorded and how it got released. If you are an APC, and funny enough, I've not heard much about PDP in this conversation. A few of the PDP guys have been lapping it up and enjoying it too, And again, you now see some APC supporters going about saying, yes, daddy. They've made designs of
Oh God, all sorts of
T-shirts
things,
and
yeah.
all sorts of memorabilia. You know the plate number. There's a plate number. The way Nigerian plate numbers are made, there's one that already has "Yes, Daddy." That someone has made a graphic
No,
graphic of.
Nigerians know how to
But
make
you now also
everything.
see Peter Obi supporters also saying, "Yes, Daddy." They also say, "Oh, this is the real Daddy. This is our Daddy. We know his age." Or this one we don't. Then I'm like, at some point though, it's a smart move if you take stones that have been hurled at you and you build, upon it. It's a smart move. In PR, that's like you taking it head on. But also, it's admittance.
Yeah, it's
It's an
admittance that
of,
that.
of culpability, but it might make it go away quickly. It might make it go away.
Okay, so still talking about a few things online. The federal government has now alerted Nigerians that there is a fake presidential transition council social media account. When I saw this news, I was like, why does the transition council need a social media account?
There's nothing wrong with having a social media account these days. Everybody needs to disseminate information. You need to reach people on all fronts. Mainstream media, online, offline, billboards, everything. So there's nothing wrong with having a social media account. What is wrong is that there are fraudsters who will prey on innocent Nigerians. I got sent some link a few days ago by a contact on my phone that said I should go check out some NDDC grant. And I said, okay, NDDC 100k household grant. I'm like, okay. The first thing that caught my eye is the spelling of grant. They have the NDDC logo. They have a website that is like a clone. The NDDC logo is there, the link is there, and everything. But expect NDDC Gant household 100,000 naira Gant.
I'm not holding brief for people that do whatever it is they do. But my question, why I think that some of these things are very laughable. Does it work on some people? Let's not even lie. It does. It actually does work on some people. But my question a lot of times is that when I see some of this, I'm like, you must really think that you don't even rate people.
Yeah, but people fall for it.
Like, you don't even rate people that you want to scam.
So,
like, the least you can do is at least put a bit of effort into it.
So the same way, they will open a social media handle now and tell you that, oh, the transition committee has selected you for.
What?
Are you kidding me right now? What are the issues that people have? People are hungry. People want jobs.
So what's the criteria for picking you?
You're funny. You're funny. When they send that message, the way they craft it and send it to you that, oh, you've been selected as one of the recipients of one transition committee funding something, send your account details to clinical to receive. The instant you send it, they just want to enter your account and clear your money or something. That's one. Or they tell you that you have been chosen to represent your community. If you want to receive something as a volunteer, blah. There are several things that these scammers will do. So yes, please, there is a fake transition committee social media handle, and why is it being opened is to scam people, nothing more, or to disinform and misinform people. Those are the motives behind whoever has done this.
Okay, so talking about scamming people and I think it is now public knowledge that the NDLEA of now, it's not the NDLEA of before. People should respect themselves. And I remember why this is what's it called. I remember I saw someone was showing me of an old, I won't call it old friend, someone that we both know, where she was showing me how this person now calls herself a doctor, that she did went some herbal school or something, and she's now calling herself a doctor. And I was now telling that my friend that if you're following her, unfollow her, delete her because when NDLA and NAFDA comes to carry, NDLA is not here. There's not anybody's friend at this point, basically. And why I said so is because now the NDLA looks like the NDLA, not looks like, it is. The NDLA is in the news every week. Looks like it's every Sunday that they release a list of people that they've arrested over the week. Now, the interesting one this week is that they are declared a Port Harcourt-based prophetess. The founder of Christ Power Adoration Ministries. What is that?
A church.
A Faith Ugochi and a supposed celebrity couple. I don't know what they do though. That they suddenly became celebrity couple. Never seen them before. Never heard of them. They're saying that they're wanted for recruiting teenage girls into drug trafficking. Basically, that they serve as arrowheads of an international syndicate operating from the United States. In fact, there's reading the whole there's stories about how that church is kind of used to get these young girls. How I think they were caught when it was these young girls, they were caught on their way out of Nigeria in between the drugs and all that, in between their loads. And basically these girls were used as mules.
Yeah, a lot of that, is happening. We see these things all the time. It's going on. And you will say, oh, how did the girls get? Now, these ones were in church. You're going to say that someone that went to church went to look for trouble. No, not necessarily. So, here's the thing. Parents, guardians, you have a lot of work to do. Even when your adult children pick a church or pick a group that they are interested in, please also help them by doing a bit of research and looking into the activities of this group or sect or cult that it might turn out to be. It's just so sad that they prey on young, vulnerable people, and now they're on the run.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think that Lagos State needs to look into this a lot, because if you read the statement from the NDLA, it was a lot of warehouses and all that they use for these things were traced all the way back to Lagos. In Lekki, this is not the first or second or the third time that their houses and their warehouses of this illicit drugs, some of them laboratories and all that are done right here in Lagos State. It seems to be a rampant thing.
Yeah.
In Lagos, especially on the island. I think that the maybe even people renting out houses to people, they also need to be more careful. Maybe do a little bit of background check on people before you rent your houses to people, because the honest truth is that some of this property are going to be sealed by the government. You're probably never going to get your property back because you decided to rent your property that you used your own hard-earned money to buy or to build most of the time, because you decided to, someone was ready to pay rent and then you sold it. I think that people, it starts from us, in as much as we want to make money and you want to do your real estate business and all that. People, we actually need to be very careful the kind of things that we allow.
Before we move away from this story, my own pain is in the fate of these girls. Like, what awaits them? Are they going to be prosecuted for the crimes?
Girls as young as 14.
Crimes that they have been, coerced and cajoled into committing. Are they going to be prosecuted for this, or are they going to be treated as victims? This is where my heart lies, and it's giving me a serious headache.
It's probably the NDLA probably should probably shed more light on that. Okay, let's move on quickly from that, and let's come and talk about a bit of I'll call it politics. Yeah, as this this one is a very interesting one. Remember, we had this. If you maybe when I tell the story, this was a very interesting one because I felt this did not even make any sense. Now, according to the story, the Abia Governor-elect Dr. Alex Oti has refuted accusations that he ordered state bank accounts to be frozen.
Yeah, it's interesting that this story came out. There's a similar story, although the reaction hasn't gotten to this level of a state in the north, Kano State to be precise, where you already have like some kind of parallel government. Now it's good when you get prepared to take over from the incumbent, especially when you're not in the same party, that you're ready with your own team.
But that's why there's a transition committee.
It's also illegal for you to start governing before you are sworn in. You're more or less, you must be breaking one law somewhere.
Yeah.
Because that means anybody can start to govern. Now, the thing there is that Alex Oti is the incoming governor, of Abia State, right?
Yeah, as of now, that's what it is.
He's of the Labour Party. The outgoing governor is from the PDP. But what they're saying is that some people actually went to court, to have the accounts frozen. It's barely a month to hand over. And Alex Oti says he knows nothing about this court case.
It's still like 2 months, almost 2 months, like almost 2 full months.
Yeah,
so.
He says he knows nothing about it. Like, he has nothing to do with the court case. So there is a court case.
So my question is, even people going to court, on what grounds?
Yeah, so the judiciary should be clearer.
Last I checked, you being a governor-elect, senator-elect, a president-elect, does not make you a president or a governor up until the day you are sworn in.
You are sworn in, yeah. We can't have two presidents.
Nigeria is even very peculiar. In recent times, we have seen governors-elect being sacked a few weeks. We've even seen one hours to inauguration. A governor-elect being sacked. So that alone should even make us realize that you have no powers. Like none. Wait for the day that you are sworn in.
It's actually wrong for any government official to steal from the government. But it's better that you don't break a law in trying to prevent that.
Yeah.
You see, it's better you come in and you have like a forensic audit.
At the end of the day, the person is still the governor. He's still a governor as we speak.
You have your own forensic audit done. Then you come out and first address the people and say, as it stands, this is what we met. This is what the person has done and all of that. This is the handover note. It does not correlate with what is in the bank,
That is done when you become governor. But I think that people need to slow their roll.
OT has denied it. But the question is, how did the judge listen to someone who is not, like, I can't call them a stakeholder now because what kind of stakeholder
the conversation is what's even the local standard to actually go and say
how did the judge listen to it?
But anyway, we'll see how that goes though. But as we move on from that, now basically going right into election matters, INEC has decided to appoint their own senior advocates of Nigeria as well, 9 in number, with a few other people to defend the presidential election results.
Yeah, so of course this is not supposed to be news, but it's now become a thing.
Yeah, now because when everybody was
the APC, the PDP, and Labour, those three parties actually went to town with the news of
brandishing
their legal teams. But INEC had already always prepared for litigation and court cases that would emanate from any
All this
election
conversation,
that they have organized. So to me, that's why I say it's not news. But now, since we're now all celebrating the number of senior advocates of Nigeria,
Shout out to us here advocates. Like, look, it's definitely your time. I think it's another thing. It's a very good thing to show the world how many senior advocates we have. You know, we're good at it.
So it's time for the courts to open and justice to be served.
Okay. Now also all the way, still talking about INEC, all the way at Port Harcourt, there were gunshots that were heard this morning where members of the APC and the PDP had clashed. Now there's stories of protests. Everybody had been protesting back and forth. It was the APC. Then it was said that the court had allowed the APC to check through the election materials that were used. Now, the PDP today had now decided to protest, talking about how they wanted to also check these materials, and they also wanted to be there so that there's no hanky-panky.
Okay. My safe place when it comes to things like this, and the right place, is the law. What does the law say about such situations? If we are in a competition and you want to verify if I really won, if I really defeated you, please go ahead. If I'm asking to be a part of it, there's nothing wrong. But it doesn't have to lead to a street protest. How did I get the permission to inspect electoral materials? It must have been from a court.
Yeah.
So the PDP should have also gone to court. You know that, look, this matter is of utmost importance, and it will be wrong for any form of inspection to be carried out by our opponents without us being there. This is me speaking for them, like I am them, you know, there's in quote. So that's the way they should approach it. I've always been wary of protest. It usually leads to riots.
The issue I have with the PDP with this conversation, like you had said, is that the APC got a court judgment. Well, okay, let's take for example the presidential election. I know there's a court judgment that has allowed the PDP, the APC, and the Labour Party to actually inspect election materials. Yeah. So instead of a protest, why is it that? So it's obvious that this request is not so difficult for the court to grant. It's over and over again. We're saying even in states, they're already courts are really quick about those things. So why is it difficult for the PDP to get that court injunction? Why do you need to stage a protest? I'm just saying.
Yeah, so extremely unnecessary now.
Now
there's talk of even the gubernatorial candidate of the APC being attacked
and all that.
It's not necessary, man.
Very, 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 very unnecessary.
To make sure that we don't cause trouble that we cannot handle. The way we're going about this thing is almost as if people are trying to create problems. Like they don't care if it really gets bad.
And you know, this particular elections, especially for a very volatile state like River State in the past, we were still talking about it a few days ago that it was relatively peaceful compared to a lot of elections that they've had in the past in River State. So I don't think we should. I think it's a win. I'm not saying that people didn't die, but compared to before, the numbers are not as much. The violence was not as much, which I will take that as a win. I don't think we should retrogress from that. Anyway, moving from the PDP and all that, we're going to the leadership of the APC, where they've commenced an investigation into the Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, the former governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikule Amosu, and other party members over alleged anti-party activities.
Well, the timing is perfect. The timing is now.
Elections are over.
Elections are over majorly. the only places where you are expecting elections are in 3 or 4 states, and these two men don't have any say in any of those states.
There's also I think the NDDC chairman now. Is she the NDDC chairman now? Yeah, Loretta Onoche. She's also part of the people that they have been called to answer these things.
Yeah. But one thing that's really glaring is how in Ogun State.
Oh yeah, I think Ogun State zone is even the worst.
Former governor of the state, card carrying member of the APC, did not hide.
He didn't hide it. He didn't hide it in 2019. He didn't hide it.
And he's done it again.
And he's done it again. So my question is, he didn't even contest, as for Senate this time. So my question is, so why are you still in the APC? Do you understand? Like every other person still has like a conversation around it, but he didn't even hide it.
For the minister, Ralph Aregbesola, in his own part, he came out to campaign for the governor of Lagos State. He was there.
Yeah, fully, he did. He actually did.
For a whole week.
Oh,
he was,
he did.
holding meetings in Ali
But that
Moshow
was where after the presidential elections.
But before that, there was the presidential elections. There was the presidential campaigns. I stand to be corrected, though. There was not a single rally or meeting or town hall that he attended. So maybe those are the things. Oh, you say he was busy, man. Now only you be minister. So I think, but it's their internal.
It's an internal issue.
But these things have a way of affecting, the entire politics.
Yeah, at least now elections have ended. So still talking about elections, parties. Still, the APC has also suspended its chairman in Bauchi State over alleged anti-party activities. Those ones are even going to go and see. There's like a disciplinary committee. This one, they've already suspended him. It said over alleged anti-party activities during the March 18 governorship elections.
The funny thing is, if they're going to be honest with themselves, the APC, they will find out that they also encouraged some people in that person's position in other parties in other states to do anti-party. It's their own that they are complaining about. But
because
they cannot
people, I get what you're saying. Like, some people's anti-party activities was in their favor.
Exactly. They cannot boldly come out now and say, that they did not reach out to some people in a place like Sokoto or other places.
We even saw it in Lagos. Let's be honest. Let's hit the nail on the head. The former governor of Ekiti State. Let's call a spade a spade. What he did, the declarations by the governor of Rivers State, the governor of Benue State, the former Senate President Ayim Pius Ayim.
Yeah. The governor of Oyo State.
The governor of Oyo State, the Senator Chimaroke Namani. A lot of these people purely anti-party activities. Let's be honest.
If you go by party lines.
If we go by party lines, they're actually anti-party activities which benefited the APC.
So of course the APC also had people working against them.
So at this point, maybe just
one of the people
anti-party activities as part of.
It's always been. It's just now that it's being played up. There are allegations of APC members working against the APC candidate in Adamawa, Senator Binani. The allegations. So these are alleged. So
anyway, still talking about anti-party activities. The SDP, the Social Democratic Party in Oyo State, has suspended its governorship candidate, Michael Ladon, and the party secretary for anti-party activities.
Okay. So, interesting.
It seems like it's the next. What's it called?
Interesting.
It's the next vocabulary now. Anti-party activities.
The thing about it is that, I don't know. For me, as someone who follows politics and has been following for a few days, I didn't even see the SDP candidate in Oyo in the top 5 in Oyo State.
Wow, wow, wow.
In Oyo State. If you're going to ask me, do I know what I'm talking about? Well, there's Makinde of the PDP. There's Teslim, of the APC. There's Accord Party's Bayo, Adelabu. There's the Labour Party. Akinlade, what's his name again?
No,
Akinwale. You get? You understand? Yeah. That's 4 already. You get? And there was another. There's this other party too that had a little bit of buzz. Then they collapsed their thing for another party, but there was no SDP being mentioned. So I don't know what the person did, but if he has done anti-party too, it's Nigerian politics.
Anti-party
the SDP is a party that can actually become very big. They have won some states.
I think that it is time they need to look into.
They need to.
There are some states
build on it
that even though they've not won a lot, the traction is not bad. Take for example Ekiti State. If we go by the governorship elections, as much as they didn't win that election, they even defeated the PDP in Ekiti State. So those, to me, as much as a lot of people might think that is a loss, some of those things are not necessarily
They
losses.
even have seats now in some states.
Some of
they
those
have federal
places are not necessarily they're not necessarily losses. So anyway, let's move on from that, and let's move on to a little bit of sports quickly before we go. And before we get to that, the Taliban has now shut down. The Taliban in Afghanistan has now shut down the only women-run radio station, saying that they were playing music during the holy month of Ramadan.
I don't know how they even had not shut them down earlier under one guise or the other. They would have always looked for a way to shut them down.
Yeah, they were fading time.
They were never going to allow women run a radio station in Afghanistan. So it's just sad.
It is.
It's just
a very
sad that
issue.
This country had made some progress, and due to some deal signed by some funny politician somewhere, they have retrogressed. They've really gone back.
They definitely have gone back.
And women seem to be at the receiving end
of all this.
Of all of this.
Decisions
coming out of the Taliban.
Quickly, looks like strikes is not ending in the UK anytime soon. This morning, it was the story of the workers at the passport office that were going on a 5-week long strike. It's beginning to sound like Nigeria. Now, teachers in England have announced fresh strike dates after rejecting the government's latest pay offer.
Yeah, workers in the UK are collectively fighting for increased pay. It's understandable. Most of them have only this singular means of income, and they have found that their take-home pay is no longer enough. It's no longer adequate.
Okay, quickly, also just wanted to put it out there, Nigerian musician Portable, the story of him getting arrested and all that, he has now been remanded in prison after going to court today. He's been set for bail for 800,000. It's supposed to be.
I thought it was 300,000.
No, sorry, it was a mistake actually. It's 800,000. Okay. And until he can perfect his bail conditions, he would be at jail in Ogun State.
Yeah. Portable had been invited by the police over a petition that was written a couple of months ago. He said by the police that he didn't, honor those invitations. Then they went to physically invite him, and there was some kind of physical resistance. He actually published it live. Now, what he has published is enough evidence for the police to use in court.
See, against them. You should be carrying out the kind of things you post.
On the flip side, smart guy, and if I'm his lawyer or his team of lawyers, will stay on that part. That look, they were not dressed as policemen. They didn't have their identity cards on. He didn't know they were police. Okay, so if you didn't know, why did you get physical? That is the issue that he has. But it's a bailable offense according to his lawyers, and that's why it's been granted bail. We don't know if bail has been perfected, but in a couple of minutes from now, we would be very sure.
We'll be very sure
of this.
of that. Finally,
But before we leave
go,
Portables matter, the thing is that his good friend DJ Chicken is claiming now on video that he's also going to write his own petition.
Okay.
Because this one was for money.
Okay. Anyway, for people that watch the Premier League, looks like this past few weeks have been a lot of people getting sacked. First it was Antonio Conte that way, but over the weekend, Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter, as they've definitely officially ended their careers at Leicester, and we saw Leicester officially get into the relegation.
Graham Potter had no business getting the PLC job. He got it. He's gone. Now they're talking about Nagelsmann, but again, for Chelsea, Nagelsmann, who is replacing the person that Potter replaced at Chelsea, that's Tuchel. But the thing about it is that for cousin Brendan Rodgers, my cousin, Rodgers, he might actually be getting the Tottenham job. His name is being mentioned.
Yeah, and I'm like, how does he get a Tottenham job with?
No, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the boombar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back again tomorrow and at 3 p.m. West African time to give you a wonderful edition of the bar. Please do enjoy.